Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren Kendall if you're new here. I post mostly animal related stuff and then some other things mixed in there. Today I'm going to be talking about corn snake care. The title says it, so let me just grab my corn snake. He's wrapped around me, so, oh, he went through my belt buckle. Just grabbing him, yeah, okay. So I got him from someone, so I'm not really sure the age. I've never measured him either, so, or her, I don't know what it is. What? Not again. Corn snakes make great beginner pets because they're really tame, so they're easy to handle, and also they don't take too much work. Okay, here he is. Corn snakes get up to 5 feet in length, and they live up to 20 years in captivity. So they're pretty long term if you're buying one of these. They live a lot longer than some other reptiles, but then again, reptiles range a lot. Like, there's a lot of reptiles out there. So some, like a tortoise can live like 100 years plus. So if you compare it to that, it doesn't live that long. When you're holding them, make sure to grab them by the middle of their body. That way you're giving them the most support and they're not falling off of you as easily. When it comes to tank setup, you'll need at least a 20 gallon, at least. Preferably something bigger like a 40 breeder. A 20 gallon is, a 20 gallon is the minimum amount of space. And that's a 20 gallon not long, not a 20 gallon tall. For substrate, they need, the best stuff I've used is aspen bedding. Stay away from anything that says cedar on it, and that goes with any animal actually. Just stay away from cedar. But the aspen bedding really holds their tunnels. They like to burrow inside of the bedding, so it really holds their tunnels. So I've noticed they really like to use that. Plus it's a lot easier to clean up and it doesn't mold as easy as some other beddings. When your snake is about to shed, you'll want to make sure you have some moss or something in the water. That way they can shed. It helps them shed a little bit easier. And along with the shedding, make sure you're not holding them if they look like they're going to shed or if they're in the middle of shedding, because it causes more stress. And that goes with when they're 48 hours after they eat. You don't want to handle them. One more thing about the cage setup is that you want lots of hides. They like to hide. That's pretty much all they do. You don't really see them out that often. When it comes to heating the cage, they can be fine at room temperature. It's preferred to make one side warm and one side cool. The way you can do that is put a heating mat on one side. You want to stay away from lights because they sense with the bottom, their belly, they sense with their belly the heat. So when you're using a light, the heat comes from above instead of below, and they can't really sense that. Feeding. When they're younger, you'll want to feed them more like every 5 to 7 days, and then as they get bigger, you don't need to feed them as often, so every week or week and a half. It's better to do frozen mice and not live mice. Live mice can kind of try to bite them and cause more troubles than frozen mice are more convenient. And corn snakes eat frozen mice no problem. It's some other snakes that have more of a problem with the frozen mice. They don't recognize it as food. You can kind of wiggle it in front of them with some tweezers, obviously. When you feed them, you'll want to put them in a separate tank that has nothing in it, or use, like I said, the tweezers. That way they don't get any of the substrate in their mouth, and that could cause problems. I forgot to mention, along with the cage, you'll want a lid that securely closes. So one of those sliding ones, or some clips that you can put on them, because they escape so easily. They can shove through the smallest spaces, I'm telling you. I had one that literally escaped every day. even when I would put a bunch of books on top of the cage, and it would still escape. So make sure you're using something that they cannot escape, because they're good at that. So there is a lot of different colorings. This one is called Oka Tea, if I think I'm saying that right, but not exactly sure. There's albino ones, there's gray ones, there's all sorts of different colors. They do better by themselves, not in pairs. The only time you'll want to put them together is if you're breeding them. So that's all I can think of for the basic care of corn snakes. If you guys have any questions at all, comment below and I will respond as soon as I can and let you know the answers to any of your questions. As I always say, comment below if you have any ideas or if you have any suggestions for future videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.